Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tingling Tea. Here at the Tingling Tea, we talk about the strange and the supernatural, the weird and the wonderful, the creepy and the cryptid, and all that is phenomenally freaky. And yes, my face is not on here this evening. And why is that? Well, I'm going to bring in our other co hosts so we can talk about what happened this weekend. And without further ado, let's bring them in. First of all, let me bring him in, the host with the most, the one, the only, the incredible Augie Ominous Peterson.
That's right, everybody. You'll have to look at my beautiful face. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That is definitely okay. And let's bring in our other co-host. He's with us every Wednesday, coming in, making a special appearance. The one, the only, Kylo Ren.
I'm supporting Leslie on her no face, no case. Oh my God. I know I sound horrible. Hey guys, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me. Woo, I'm back.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So you all, yes, I'm not showing my face this evening. And so let me explain to the audience what happened.
What happened to your face? Tell us.
Nothing happened to my face.
Beautified. Perfect.
So last Tuesday, I went and had hand surgery.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what I was thinking. I literally have arthritis in my hand, and of course I'm explaining this. This is just what happens to your body when it breaks down and you get old. I have arthritis, and I've been in denial about it. I'm just thinking I have some pain in my hand because of all the typing that I do. So I went in and I saw a surgeon, and had to go through all the pre-testing and everything. And I'm just thinking they're going to give me like a localized type of anesthesia to knock me out. So when I go in, and they actually have me go prep for surgery, covered hair and everything, I'm like, wow, this is a lot. This is so elaborate just to get like this little bump off my finger, that's causing me pain. No, you all, literally, I had a bone spur in my hand, and that's what was causing a lot of the pain. So they had to go in there and shave off the bone spur, which was serious surgery.
Yeah.
Serious surgery. And so the reason why I'm not showing my face is that I have been on some very heavy medication, and I literally cannot do anything on my own. I can't comb my hair. I can't put my makeup on. I can't do anything without help. And of course, my husband's not here this evening, so I couldn't put in my hair or anything. And I have bags under my eyes that are so big because of the medication that I'm on.
Yeah.
No. Let me tell you something, Leslie. You look beautiful always, so don't worry about it. We would love to see your face. However, we respect your decision not to show it. Of course, it sounds like you and I can no longer go into the model hand industry like we planned to But you know what? I will keep the torch strong. Augie, let me see your hands, baby. Let me see your hands.
Right. I'm actually going to be doing the same thing that SistaSlaya is doing right now when I get my hair implants. So I'm not going to be showing my face either for a while.
And please don't show the plugs either.
I have like hair like
oh my God.
You can't imagine my hair.
Oh, I can't.
It's gonna be so thick and wonderful.
Just as long as you wear the Jay-Z bandana, I'm okay with that, because
I wear that every night before I go to bed.
That's the new theory, that Jay-Z has a man wig. And that he wears his bandana, he has plugs, and that he wears his bandanas when they're about to fall out, like when his underneath hair is growing out, and so they're not put in all the way. So they wears a bandana right where most women start. When you have like braids.
Stuff? What?
I am so busy. Listen, I am a wealth of knowledge of useless information. Trust me.
So him and LeBron got the same techniques for saving their hair?
Yeah. Apparently he gets his hair braided in.
What's going on with you, Mike? What are you trying to cover up tonight?
You know what? You guys want to see my hair file?
Listen, I challenge you all to go and look at pictures of Jay-Z and notice that his bandana is always in the same spot.
I gotta check the recent pictures. I'm so used to Jay-Z having locks. I gotta see it.
Those aren't real locks. They're not real locks. That's the point. That's the point. And when they start
you're destroying our reality. We can trust nothing.
First of all, think about it. If you look at a picture of him 6 months prior to him getting those locks, there ain't no way in heck he grew those locks that long. You know how long locks take?
I do.
Yes, you do.
So my point being is that he wears this man bandana to hide his man wig. And when his hair is underneath hair is growing out, his plugs are showing. So he wears a bandana on his head, and it looks funny because it's like sticking up in the air. It don't even look like it don't look right.
You just blew my mind.
You just blew my whole mind. We need to do a whole segment on this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
I told you we were going to talk about the phenomenally freaky, and that is phenomenally freaky.
Yeah. We need some befores and afters.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Mayhem, next week when we come on here, show it.
Okay. Okay. I'm down for it.
Yep, because I'm telling you. And there are plenty of theorists out there that say the same thing that I'm saying.
All right.
That he wears.
I didn't realize we had theorists about hair. Okay.
Hair's a part of life, though. It's part of your presentation. So,
yeah, it is. It's important.
Speak for yourself. My hair is getting less and less part of my presentation.
That's why you're getting man plugs, because hair is important to you. That's exactly right.
I want to look like Wolfman by the time I'm done. I get so many plugs all over my freaking head.
Oh Lord!
And then we can style you. We can work with that.
But that's my point. That's important to men to have hair. So it's important to JC, of course, and that's why he is putting in those man plugs or whatever he has. So yes, next week we're gonna look at those pictures, and we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna add the pictures, and we're gonna find pictures 6 months prior to him having locks, and then him having locks, and then pictures of him with his bandana in the same place.
You saw it here, folks, on the Tingling team.
Oh, it'd be crazy that if, like, let's say next year, man wigs and man hairs are like a big thing and everybody's buying it, and we called it as to who the pioneer is. We should log this and also invest.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm down for it because everybody thinks it's for real. Everybody thinks it's for real, and look. Inquire people who have been really looking at where that bandana is, especially girls who get their hair braided and locked with hair that you get from the hair store, know where that bandana is, and that's usually where your hair is coming from, where they braid your hair in.
Wow, I gotta look into this. I've never heard. Listen, the general rule is if you lose hair up here, you grow it here, and if you got hair up here, this is generally bald or very groomed. So
I agree with that.
I got to see what's going on with that.
Yeah, definitely check it out. So listen, you all, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. And one of the things that we need to talk about is that our guest isn't here.
What?
We don't know what happened to him.
Let me check on my... Oh, he hasn't replied in 14 minutes.
Yep. So you all, we're very sorry that Barry McLean is not here Barry McLean Jr. is not here with us this evening. We don't know what happened. Maybe some miscommunication and everything. But he's not with us, so hopefully maybe we can see him on another show. So we're going to just have to handle the show without our guest artist this evening. But join us in 2 weeks. We are going to have another artist here. That's going to be Dirk Manning, who is one of my favorite people. And shout out to Rich Davis, who did a phenomenal job with us last week. Cult of Dracula, Rich Davis. We talked about it. We had an awesome time with him.
Amazing.
We really did. I have to encourage you all once again to go and buy Cult of Dracula.
Yes.
I've listed in our last week's show all of his links so that you can go in and buy it. And like I said, these artists work very hard, but we want to promote them and present them so that you all know where them. Mostly those who have who are more on the horror vein. So please go out there and support Rich Davis. And like I said, in 2 weeks, we're going to have Mr. Dirk Manning here with us.
Cool. I've now officially turned into a spanner for Barry. So we'll see. We'll see if Barry replies to my spam.
Don't go after him. Maybe something happened. But anyway, so this is Native American Heritage Month. As most of you all know, I am of Native American heritage. So this is a very important month for us. We've been celebrating at our job all month. I've been hosting movies and documentaries every day for Native American Heritage Month from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think 9, 12, and 3.
Wow.
It's a huge undertaking, but I think that it's going to eventually catch on. And one of the reasons why I did a 9 o'clock show is because we have people that are in South America and in Europe who need to also watch this content. I will say, you all, that presenting this content has been very depressing.
I'm sure it's not a positive message. It's not a positive story.
No, and especially for the things that have been in the news lately, the missing, murdered Indigenous women, men, and boys, and trans community, in addition to the residential schools and the amount of children that died in residential schools, in particularly Canada.
In Canada, yeah.
So highlighting this stuff and actually getting in depth and hearing these people's stories and watching it has been extremely depressing for me. I have to say, I've cried a lot watching these films over and over again. If anything, it's driven something home to me, and it's the importance of standing up for a community that does not have a voice and who people think are diminished or that they don't exist. There are people that actually believe that Native Americans don't exist anymore, that they were all killed off. The poverty level in reservations that are places where our government is supposed to be taking care of them, and these people are living below poverty level. I mean, it is just deplorable. And so for any of us who are of this heritage, who are recognizing this part of yourself, rather than wearing this as a badge to prove to anybody that you're Native American, because there's a lot of people who do it just to prove a point, you need to support this community. There are plenty of you out there wearing eagle feathers on your head, saying you're Native American and stuff, but what are you doing for this community? So, definitely this is, if you are celebrating this month, go and look at some of the films that are out there that are explaining and giving you a worldview of what is going on in this community and how our government has failed them. So.
Yeah. But guess what? I heard from Barry.
Where is he?
Barry said he's not in his studio. He thought it was his time. It was 7 o'clock his time. I guess he's in a different time zone.
Oh, okay.
So
anyway, so
he won't be
okay,
joining.
so all right, so we'll hold him to that next time he gets invited.
Absolutely.
All right. So anyway, let's go on. We're going to talk about some movies that we watched over the weekend, and this is big spoiler alert. I don't know how to tell you all this. I'm going to actually add this to our banner. Spoil alert.
Spoiler. Don't do anything. Spoiler for what movies or shows?
So we are going to talk about Midnight Mass.
Oh, okay.
Netflix's Midnight Mass.
Netflix's Midnight Mass. And a movie that I watched over the weekend called No One Gets Out Alive, which I stumbled upon that, and boy, was I pleased.
Really?
Okay.
It's
Yes.
number one on my recommendation list on Netflix.
Yes,
right now.
it definitely is. It definitely is. So for No One Gets Out Alive, we're not going to spoil too much about it. We're going to talk about the story and everything. But Midnight Mass, we did tell you all that we were going to watch it. So I just want to let you all know there's spoiler alerts on this.
We will tell you, though, that no one gets out alive.
Oh, yes, for No One Gets Out Alive. We will tell you that.
Sorry
Yes.
about that.
Well, you don't know. That leaves you up to debate. Okay, so let's discuss Midnight Mass. We know that Midnight Mass is Netflix's new series that is a rendition or a tribute to Salem's Lot, known as Jerusalem's Lot. It is, if you all don't know who Jerusalem's Lot is, or Salem's Lot, by Salem's Lot is probably one of my favorite all-time television series that came out in the 1970s with David Soul. It's a Stephen King novel and by far one of my favorite books. And this is like a rendition of what happens to a community similar to what happened to Salem's Lot or Jerusalem's Lot. And so Eddie actually introduced this to us a couple of weeks ago before he went on vacation. And we're going to kind of talk about this and my thoughts on this and his thoughts on this particular show.
First of all, how cool is this poster?
The poster is extremely cool. And can I say that
Whoa.
this poster is more of what our posters kind of looked like in the 70s when we were watching series in the 70s when we had like when they had a made for TV series. This is what this
Completely.
reminded me of.
Me
Okay.
too.
So they really actually went there, in tribute to that and homage to, Salem's Lot and stuff like that.
Yep.
So can you give us just a little bit of background on Midnight Mass, and let's just discuss this before we get into some of the spoilers.
Sure. So it's a TV miniseries. I think it was like 7 episodes or so on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at it right now. It's about an isolated community experiencing miraculous events and frightening omens after the arrival of a charismatic, mysterious young priest. The other thing that you should know is that this is actually sort of the 3rd installment of this writer-director's work on Netflix. So he did Gerald's Game and he also did Hush.
Mm-hmm.
So that came earlier than this.
Now, I don't know if I saw this. Maybe this is my imagination. Was this like a little graphic novel or something like that, like a comic?
Not that I'm aware of, but this is what we did see. If you look at Hush, if you look at Gerald's Game, they're actually reading the Midnight Mass graphic novel in those shows. Like the characters are reading the graphic novel as part of that movie, but there's not one that I'm aware of that's real.
There must be one if they're reading it. I'm thinking that it was because I kind of remember seeing like footage of it. So there must be one.
Actually, I did some Googles, and it would appear that
what does the Google say?
The Google said that the Midnight Mass seems to be with writer John Rosen, published by DC Comics Vertigo imprint in 2002. And looking at the artwork, it seems to be the same. I have not read it yet, so I cannot confirm, but it's possible. It seems likely that there was a comic book adaptation of Midnight Mass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, the Google.
Yes, thank you, Googler. Okay. So basically what it is this young priest. We have a small town that is extremely isolated. It's somewhere in Maine, I would say, off the coast of Maine, which of course is very typical of any Stephen King novel, is because that's his area, and he usually writes about that. So it's a small New England community that is isolated on an island. There are only 2 boats that come in and out of this island daily. And this community is like a little small sleepy town where everybody knows everybody. Yeah, with fishermen. And it's dying because the fishing industry is dying. So, the reason for anybody staying there is, their own. It's usually older people, people who have a simpler way of life. And some people have actually left the community because they didn't like that life. And one in particular that left the community was a young man who went off to start a tech company, who ended up becoming an alcoholic. And I don't think we ever found out why he became an alcoholic. But anyway, he committed a murder while he was driving. He was drunk while driving, and so he committed a murder, and he could never get away from the fact that he had committed this murder. And then we have a young woman who left, who was sowing her oats, who ends up coming back to the island, and she's pregnant.
She was trying to be an actress.
She's trying to be an actress, and she came back and she's pregnant. And so this is what happens, the turn of events. And then this young priest who's coming in to actually, so this is the older priest. So there was a Monsignor that was taking care of this parish at this community, who everybody knew, everybody loved. They sent him on a trip to Jerusalem, and he disappears, and this young priest shows up. Okay. So you find out what happens to him while he's in Jerusalem, And what's interesting to me is that I can't understand why he was the Monsignor of this parish for so long and wasn't replaced. Because I know that the Catholic Church does move people around. So he just was the long-standing Monsignor. He grew in age there for years. He was the Monsignor there.
Yeah.
But then when he disappears, and this young priest shows up saying that the Monsignor is sick, and then he's recovering overseas.
And at the beginning, there's not many people attending mass, and throughout there seems to be some miraculous things happening. So more and more people start attending mass.
Right.
With the young priest.
This young priest is really on fire for the Lord. That's really what it is. And he's not your typical Catholic priest. The way that he speaks is more like evangelical. So he's bringing people in, and people start coming to the masses. They're showing up. And not only that, people are being healed of their ailments.
It's true. It's true. And we see some pretty miraculous recoveries.
Some pretty miraculous recoveries.
Quickly. Yeah.
Very quickly, very quickly. So now it's causing everybody to come to church to find out who this new priest is, who this mysterious priest is that the Catholic Church has sent. So he is a good man. He is a good man. He really wants to bring the whole entire parish together. He loves the people of his congregation. He really, truly loves the people of his congregation. And so it's important for him that they all be there. And so the young man who left, who became the alcoholic and went to jail because he killed somebody, he really is seeking after him, even to the point that this young man would have to go off island to go to his Alcohol Anonymous Al-Anon. Yeah. And so he started one in the community so this young man wouldn't have to go off island. But it was also a way for him to get to know this young man. And he cares a lot about this young man.
He does. He formulates these really close personal relationships with people on the island.
Yeah.
And he really fosters them, and he goes out of his way, like more than you would anticipate, to cater to certain people on the island, including this guy. So, and
you grow to love him too. You grow to love him.
Yeah, he seems so genuine, authentic. He's authentically struggling with his own demons. He's sharing those demons with other people and invites them to share their own with him. It's actually beautifully acted, I think.
Yeah, beautifully acted. Some amazing performances in this. Amazing performances. That gentleman, and can we get his name real quick? He actually is the partner to Lily Rabe. And I don't know if you all know who Lily Rabe is, but you know her from American Horror Story. And in particular, she was one of my favorite one, the Witches one, where she was in love with Stevie Nicks. Yeah. And I love that actress. I love her. And so they're partners. His name is he is from Boston. He is He's Scottish descent. I can't think of his name right now.
Hamish Linkletter.
Yeah, Thomas Linkletter.
Hamish with an H.
Hamish Linkletter. That's his name. Yes, I knew he was Scottish. So there are all people in this community that are transformed. Now, this lady right here, she actually is the assistant to the Monsignor, and she is somebody that I don't know. I think she's a sociopath, honestly. But the thing is that she took all the people's money and started a center on this island, and nobody needed a center. She talked these people into doing a community center, and she took their money, and nobody knows what happened to their money.
Crazy religious lady.
Yeah, she's a crazy religious lady, crazy devout religious lady who feels that she's right about everything, even to the point of causing murder. That's all I'm going to say that right there.
Yeah.
That she feels righteous in causing murder.
So pious. So
very pious. And then we have a sheriff who, this is interesting. Our sheriff is Muslim, and he came there to this small town because after 9/11, he wasn't getting the respect of a police officer that he deserved. So he came to a community that he felt was going to not give him any backflap about being a Muslim. So there's some deep underlying religious content in this that I think is very on point. Whoever wrote this did their research.
Yeah, I agree. I think the undercurrents of religious and how humanity uses religion in various ways to either isolate or bring people together is constant in this. There's also this incredible mixture of we mentioned Salem's Lot earlier, so people are probably understanding this has to do with something with vampires. So there's this very interesting sort of counterbalance between taking the body and blood of Christ and what vampires do to get their, to suck people's blood. So it's kind of, there's an interesting juxtaposition.
Yes.
Plus we have the ability for everlasting life, which is something that is a promise within the church as well.
Right.
So they use these little elements to sort of play off one another, and it works really well.
And understand that blood is something that's prominent in everyone's religious, belief, because blood is life, and blood is important. Blood means sacrifice. Blood means everlasting life. Blood means the shedding of blood, which covers all sin. So blood is a very important, significant thing here. It's vibrant and it's living. And the thing is that people in the Catholic Church, when you take sacrament, and this is old school because I haven't seen it done in a long time, but when you take sacrament and you eat the sacrament, you also used to sip from the same cup. And the same cup was the blood of Jesus, which is what we did for communion. So everybody used to sip from the same cup, and they would just wipe the cup and then they would turn it so you could drink it. Well, they don't do it so much now. Now the priest actually just drinks from the cup. But this was, like I said, an old school community who did things the old way. And so everybody drank from the cup,
right,
of the blood and body of Christ. This is my blood that I shed for you. This is my body that was broken. All of that is important. The sacrament is very important. So let's talk about what is actually going on here. What are they drinking that's causing these miraculous things to occur? And that is the pivotal moment when you realize what is really going on here. So at the beginning of this, I showed you all a picture of the Monsignor. Let me just go back.
You got me on the edge of my seat right now.
Yeah. We have a picture of the Monsignor who is in Jerusalem. And you notice that he's confronting something and something's across from him. If you can see, of course, it's a creature. But what is this creature that he encounters? And the creature that he encounters is the most pivotal moment when you realize what is going on here. This creature is a Nephilim. And if you don't know what a Nephilim is, he is an angel, correct. But it is a fallen angel, the ones that were cast down with Satan. Nephilim have an appearance. As you know, the angels of God are like 7, 8, 9 feet tall. This thing is humongous. It's humongous, big, tall, 7 feet tall.
Double XL would not cover it.
Double XL will not cover it. So what happens in this is that the Monsignor, who is, has dementia and stuff like that, gets caught out in the desert and comes across a cave that was unearthed and encounters this creature. And the creature sucks his blood and then in turn gives him his blood. So this young priest that we see is actually the Monsignor.
Oh, snaps.
So it's the young priest is the old priest. He's been serving this community forever, coming back as the young priest, and they don't recognize him because he's so young.
Because he's so young. Only one person recognizes him because he had a love interest and she recognizes him.
Yeah.
And what you're seeing is that people are being restored to life. People are starting to look younger. They're being more vibrant because they're drinking the blood daily.
And they're drinking the blood of this fallen angel. So at the beginning, you see this priest bringing back something, a big box, a big, travel case. And and he can hardly move it. It's so heavy. Mm-hmm. And you begin to realize that in that travel case was this fallen angel. And the fallen angel is giving blood to this priest, and the priest is distributing it as the blood of Christ at Mass.
Mm-hmm. So, as a result of that,
Mike has nothing to say.
As a result of that, and the fact that people are transforming, in particular, the Monsignor is transforming, and he had to die in order to completely transform. He started having midnight mass because he couldn't tolerate the sunlight any longer. And he started having midnight mass. And there's nothing wrong with midnight mass. There's a lot of masses that occur at midnight, especially during Easter and stuff like that, which is exactly what happened. Resurrection Sunday is a time that we mostly have midnight masses. And this is what he did. And his idea of having this midnight mass was to transform everyone to new life under this creature.
Yep.
So this is literally what he's been doing. He's been taking the blood of that creature. The creature has actually been giving him his blood so that he can give it to the community who's been restored to new life.
But in order to turn into a creature, there's the creature. Yeah, look at that.
Look how big he is.
Oh yeah, he's huge, huge. And so he wasn't incorrect. The priest is not incorrect in saying that he was an angel. He tells everyone he was an angel. The thing is, because this angel restored him to his youth, he's negating the fact that this angel is not an angel of light. This is an angel of darkness.
That's pretty deep, right?
This is like, I want to know what happens next, because first of all, this thing is humongous, and he's giving the priest his blood, and the priest is giving everybody else the blood. So like, what's going to happen next? But now I'm kind of scared to go to church.
Don't drink the blood.
Especially at midnight, you know?
Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to tell everybody what happens
right
at the end, because I'm going to leave it up to you, but I want you to know what's going on. And it does start off slow, but this is so that you can get familiarized with these characters, because at the end of this, you really care about these people. And that's what I love about horror such as this.
Yeah,
is you care about who wins and loses in this.
Yeah, the acting is incredible all around. Like, there's no bad actors in this. I mean, this is a really good sort of roller coaster to go on. And at the end, it just brings you on this massive, it just goes,
it just
goes to a place you don't anticipate.
You don't anticipate it to go to. You do not anticipate it going there.
So without revealing these questions, without revealing answers, I have questions. Like, what happens if you miss mass and you already took the blood? Do you get any special powers, or do you become like a day youthful? Do you start seeing signs of other angels? Is there other angels mentioned? You know, is there any history that they give at some point in time? Like, these are questions. See, now I have to watch this. Now I have to binge watch this. Thank you very much is what I'm going to be doing tonight.
So worth it. You'll enjoy it.
It is very worth it. It's very worth it. I will tell you, though, it starts off slow at the beginning, but when it does pick up, it picks up.
Gotcha.
And you're very surprised at what happens. Yeah. But it was, in my opinion, I didn't think any character was safe. People that you become very attached to, they're not safe in this.
Yeah.
So when you think it usually, which is cliched, that all the good characters are gonna, all the good characters are gonna survive, all the bad characters are gonna die. That's not the case here.
Okay. All right. So out of a 10, what would you guys give this a rating so far? I think this is only one season. Is that correct?
7 episodes. I actually give it I give it a 9, and let me tell you why I give it a 9.
Ooh.
A 9 out of 10.
Okay.
I felt like because they had 7 episodes, we could have played it out just a little bit longer, but I felt like they wrapped it up too quickly.
Okay.
And so that's only my issue with this, is that they wrapped it up too quickly when it did happen. When it started actually speedballing down, it just went so very quickly. I was like, what just happened? But I didn't feel like it wrapped it up. It left me kind of wanting more, in a sense, but I had questions, not wanting more because I missed the characters or anything, but I had questions like, okay, well, we didn't address this, or we didn't address that. And so I thought that maybe just perhaps the reason why that we didn't see that is because they're planning on doing something else similar to this.
Okay.
Well, I certainly hope so. I would give it a 9 out of 10 as well. Similar, I had similar experiences to Sista, but I was, I liked the first couple of episodes because it really was character driven, and the acting was so good that it was totally fine with me. I wasn't looking to be like, massively entertained with blood and gore or something in the beginning. But for me, the thing that sets this apart from the other sort of TV shows that you see is the caliber of acting and the caliber of the writing. It's superior to what I have seen elsewhere. Yes, it does wrap up very quickly. I wish it had extended into like 2, maybe 3 episodes. But it was so thoughtfully done, and the actors were so committed to the story that I was captivated. I was captivated with this community. I wanted to go visit there. I wanted to go talk to them. I wanted to, you know what I mean? Like this is a really, to me, I love movies or productions that really create a whole environment for you. And this did that. This created an entire world that you want to go visit.
You want to go visit, yeah.
I just want to say that you guys are giving a 9 out of 10 to a 7-episode season that you kind of said has some plot holes, but it's still a great series. I don't think that's ever happened before, ever in history. Yeah,
it was very good, and very well acted.
Yeah, the way the story is told, I think it's okay that there are holes. Like we don't need to tie everything up.
Okay.
Because it's moving along at such a pace that you're just sort of experiencing these things. You don't necessarily have to like give exposition about this thing that happened, but you're kind of like, what? And then you move on to the next thing. You're like, oh my God, what? And then you're moving on to the next thing. So it's more along that line. But in my opinion, it was okay. It didn't leave me, wanting like, oh, please, I wish they explored that much more.
Okay.
I surely wasn't angry like I was when I saw Halloween. So I want to just say that, that movie sucked. But anyway, let's move on to our next movie. Let's move on to our real quick next movie, and then we do have some footage to get to. Yes. So I wanted to briefly talk about this, and I just saw this too. This was a pleasant surprise for me, looking for horror content over the weekend, and that was No One Gets Out Alive. And I am telling you, I was really pleased, very pleased about this particular show. I'm just going to give like a little spoiler alert about this, but Eddie's going to pull up something about this, and then I'm going to talk about it real quickly. But I highly recommend that you all see this. It's very good.
So No One Gets Out Alive is about an immigrant in search of the American dream. And then after being forced to take a room in a boarding house, finds herself in a nightmare she can't escape.
Yes. So first of all, not only does it show you the things that immigrants go through as far as when they come here to this country and they try to live decent lives and try to make it here. It showed exactly what she went through. Not only that, it showed how people treated her, how the fact that it was very hard that her own family would not sponsor her. And so she was pretty much fending for herself to be here, to live a new life. And she was extremely naive about what happened. So she ends up moving into a house that apparently doesn't have any other tenants but her and somebody else. And it is a guy that owns the house, the really creepy looking dude. And she decides to go ahead because she doesn't have very much money to take a room in this place. But what she doesn't realize is this place is a prison. And it's not a prison like you all would think in a sense where a prison. This place is a supernatural prison. To the extent that by far it had, and I'm not even going to reveal that last picture that I wanted to show you all because I want you all to be surprised about this. But at the end of this film, you are going to really see a send off to Guillermo del Toro in this.
What? I'm so excited.
Yes. The creature effects in this are unbelievable.
Oh, good.
Unbelievable, but totally not what I expected. Very well acted, very well done. I don't know how this I really wanted to see a part 2 of this because I was like, I want to know what happens.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good and very creepy. There were moments in there that I literally jumped.
Wow. It's a good horror movie when you actually jump.
Yes, and that's saying a lot for me who, I'm always looking for something good to watch. I'm always looking for something good to watch that's horror related. And I loved this movie. I loved it.
I gotta actually finish watching it. I didn't think I saw it until I started watching the stills. And I'll give you a clue as to where I'm at.
Okay.
Where she tries to reach out to family for help after her friend at the company does something to her.
Yes.
And that's where I'm at. And I was like, oh, okay. But I had to go to sleep,
I continue watching it. That's what I was talking about, her being naive.
Yes.
Her being naive.
But that broke my heart.
On the real, it broke my heart that it was another immigrant doing it to her.
Yeah.
Another immigrant of color doing it to her.
Yeah. It along the same lines, there's this reminds me of another movie that I saw that's also on Netflix called His House. You ever seen that?
I did see that. That's also very good.
Yeah.
That's also very good.
It's a refugee couple tries to make a harrowing escape from war-torn South Sudan, but then they struggle to adjust to their new life in an English town that has an evil lurking beneath the surface.
We definitely have to review that movie. That is a great movie. And it also shows what happens to refugees here in this country or in Europe, for that matter. How they're treated, what they do, where they place them for sanctuary was horrible. Yes. Horrible. It was very good movie, by the way. Thank you for reminding me of that one. That is a very good movie.
Yeah, the whole plot of this one that you just talked about, No One Gets Out Alive, reminds me of His House.
Yep.
It sounds like, completely different movies, but it has a common theme, and that's, the sort of the plight of immigrants, the plight of people that have no power, that are forced into these conditions because no one else will take them.
Yeah.
And they have no choices. They have to put up with it.
Yep. They have to put up with it. They have to go through it. So I was going to highlight this evening some Native American cryptids. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to find enough content. So we're just going to look at some scary content tonight and do another What Did I Just See evening. That seemed to be really successful last week. So I'm going to actually put What Did I Just See on here so that people know that we're not doing our cryptid night tonight. We're going to go back to that next week for Native American Heritage Month. Last week's What Did I Just See was really good, actually, and we saw like some really good footage. We even creeped Rich out, which is I thought was really, really good. So let's just do this What Did I Just See. Actually, that should be a question mark.
Should be. You're editing on the fly.
Yeah, I am. And under heavy medication.
Let's take it. That's all right. I mess up like that, and I'm not on heavy medication.
Well, I mean, if you're saying "What did I just see?" it's also an exclamation and a question, depending. It could be both. I think you should add an exclamation and a question mark.
I think I should do that too. You're absolutely right. But the question mark goes before.
English teacher would agree with you.
The question mark goes after the question. Okay. And then you could put the exclamation mark to give it emphasis.
Fair enough. Inner English teacher is giving you a -1 point. point.
No,
Yeah.
that's truly acceptable to be done this way. It really
Really?
is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But the question mark has to go under after the question, and then the exclamation goes after that. Yes, it's truly acceptable.
Listen,
I don't know.
English
I
is
also am an inner English teacher, and I'm
Hmm.
telling you that's acceptable
Oh
to
my
give
gosh.
emphasis. Yep,
Okay,
it really
all right.
is.
all right. Don't make me bring out my hooked on phonics, okay?
I got-
All right, so let's go to our first thing. I am going to, we've got 4 things that we're going to watch very quickly, or 3 or 4 things that we're going to watch very quickly. Let's start with this one, and this is Frostmare TV. You know, I absolutely love this guy. This guy keeps bringing on the most creepiest content, and then it's his voice that even adds to it. His voice really, 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 you know, adds to his content.
The
So let's
creep
watch
factor.
this. Let me just stop the screen and share this real quick.
Okay.
And we're going to ask our audience, what did I just see?
What did I just see?
All right, let's go.
Here's Alexa.
The next videos were recorded and shared by Cursed Home. The owner, Casey, apparently ordered a supposedly haunted Alexa speaker system. As a lover of the occult and mysterious side of things, it was a no-brainer for him to acquire it. It arrived after a few days and was placed in the home of him and his wife. The first weird event unfolded shortly after, on the same day. The device started talking, without anybody interacting with it. Strange. Then, even stranger things started to unfold in their home.
Dude, this light has literally been turning on and off all morning, and we have no idea what's happening. It just turned off.
They even bought a different lamp on one of the following days. But it turned out that it wasn't the lamp causing all of this. This night, something woke Casey up, and he had to investigate.
What the? What? Oh my god. That is so creepy. That was just on. Whoa.
And then that growl.
I can't be the only one that heard that. Whoa. Whoa.
Was something demonic getting comfortable in their home at this point? The activity got really bad, and these demonic noises could be heard every other night now. They even believe that something can be seen in the darkness here. Is that possible? What a terrifying case. D-Doc Nicole.
So what do you all think about that?
I think he needs to throw Alexa away. Take that thing and punt it. Like punt it and then maybe drop it off at the church. See if they'll take it. Because
exorcism, an Alexa exorcism.
yes, get Siri involved. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, have Siri.
Get a Siri Alexa throwdown.
Really?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with this one. I'm kind of made to not necessarily believe only because my previous ex and I had an Alexa. Well, she had an Alexa, and it would pick up people's conversations. Like people would be on the phone, and you would hear it randomly. I wouldn't interact with Alexa because I don't really care for those things. But at the same time, for Alexa to just saying those things and constantly making the volume go up and down, you have to tell Alexa, turn light up, dim light down, all this other stuff. And it doesn't look like he's saying that. So I'm kind of on the fence with that. I say to be safe, throw it in the ocean. Forget it. Just throw it in the ocean.
Any of your thoughts?
I definitely think this is a little sketchy. Number one, because it took many days for Alexa to show up in the mail. What kind of Amazon service is that?
He said he bought it from eBay.
He
What?
bought it from eBay. He bought it from eBay.
Which is crazy because who sells things on eBay?
Yeah, it was sold on eBay, as a haunted item,
Yes, it was.
and he bought it.
With
All right, so
specific
I guess
instructions not
if
to
it's
connect to power.
okay, well, he screwed that up, and then like, of course, it's got some sort of connection to the power outlet. Like, it doesn't matter the um, the lamp that's plugged in the corner. Your power outlet is going on and off. I don't know. I thought that growl thing was cheesy. If y'all heard a growl like down in this dark room, what would you all be doing? Getting the heck out, right? If I heard a growl, like I'm looking at a dark room right now, if I heard a growl from that room, I'd be like,
but let me just say this.
I'd be out.
I have come to this. I've come to the conclusion there are a lot of people that experience this kind of stuff and continue to experience it so they can tape it to get more likes and views. And even if it puts them in danger, they continue to do it, or they perpetuate it. They influence it so that it activates a lot more.
Yeah.
And they keep it around because, and then when they finally can't deal with it anymore, if something harmful happens, and then they're bringing in a priest to bless everything. But they welcome this. They welcome it. Sorry, my cat is crying in the background.
I can't hear your cat.
They welcome this kind of energy into their home so that they can get subscribers, likes, and views. There is no way in heck I would let anything be growling in my house except my animals, period. And even if they're growling, that's an issue. So this is scary to me. The way that the Alexa was talking. Obviously, what I think is I don't think that the object itself is haunted. I think that there's an entity that has attached itself to the object that is using it to communicate. That's what I think. And that entity is following this Alexa so that it's trying to communicate and get itself use technology to be able to transform itself to come into this world. But that's what I think.
Yeah, I think the scariest part was when it was doing the weird alphabet noises, and then it was like, and then
it was scatting.
And then the other thing that I didn't like was the guy didn't really seem that scared. He's like, "Do you guys see this? This is crazy."
No,
you know what I mean?
I've
been like, "Wah!"
Yeah, definitely. I would have been totally creeped out. But no, he bought it he likes haunted items, and he does this. And this is part of his this is what he does for his YouTube channel, or his whatever it is. That's his thing.
All right.
Anyway, let's go into our next footage. I go ahead.
I would throw it in a volcano. I realize throwing in the water is polluting, and we don't need that. Throw it in a volcano.
I'm not sure if that's how you recycle electronics.
It's lava. It melts everything. Like, it's the greatest recycle bin ever.
All right, let's go into this next one. I honestly don't know. I prompted these, so I'm not really sure what we're going to see, but let's talk about it when we do it. Okay, let's go. Here we go.
Rubesy is a gaming YouTuber. He agreed to pet sit for his friend, so decided to take his kid to the apartment and started live streaming whilst his friend was away.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Rubesy was alone in the apartment, or so he thought. Weird things started to happen, from doors closing on their own accord to the lights seemingly flicking on and off by an unseen entity. Rubesy was clearly shook after investigating and left the apartment swiftly. He consulted with his friend, who has never seen anything like it. Rubesy went back to stream again later on in the year, and it seems that this entity may be quite fond of him, as it never plays up for anybody else. Here is the first full haunting caught live on YouTube on Rubesy's stream.
But yeah, that was the tragic story of my my bringing down of my dearest Lydia. Oh my! The fuck was that? Come Elvis.
He brings the cat.
Elvis, let go of my headphones.
Sacrifice the cat.
Protect me, Elvis.
Dude, the light, you just turned it off and it went back on.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting the language. You also, just to let you know, disclaimer, there's language.
Oh. Let's see if it shuts hard. Shut hard. Yes.
Open the door fully. Open the door fully, but be prepared to run. He's checking.
Yo, what's up, Chillzone?
Hey, dude.
What's up, Pokecat?
Hi.
What is happening in your freaking house?
I don't know what's happening, but I'm
fucking
freaking out.
incredible. What the fuck?
This is my fucking apartment.
I'm a little
You
bit.
gotta highlight this shit.
This is not my fucking apartment, bro.
The door just. What the fuck?
I'm like on the low key watching the door right now.
Same.
Like I'm watching.
It's not like we needed. Guys, it's not like we needed any sleep or anything.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Get it.
Fuck this. Fuck this.
What the heck?
Did you guys see that?
So, I wanted to show our last video because there's actually a second part to this. So he's actually at his friend's house, staying at his friend's house, watching the cat, and that's what happened. And the friend says this never happened to him in his apartment at all while he's been there. So he thinks that he bought it with him. And there is this consensus that a lot of us who do streaming and stuff like that on Twitch, which is actually what he was doing, capture a lot of things behind us that we're not aware of while we're gaming because we have our headphones on and we're not aware of what's going on, but everybody that's watching us sees what's going on. Sees what's going on behind us. So that's what happened. They were his fans were watching, and this is what happened.
Well, I think it's creepy, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
If it's an elaborate prank, it's done very well because most rooms have two switches for one light, right? One on the outside, one on the inside, right? It can't be to the right because that's so small and it leads to the other room, but it's possible. The door slamming that hard, I'm a little skeptical because I would have opened the door fully from a distance to see what's in the room. You know, you got to stay away from it because something grabs you. You don't want to go into the room. And then the box flying off the table, that could have been wire work, but I didn't see anything. I didn't see any wires or anything of that nature. I still think he reacted properly. He left. I don't know if he took the cat with him. Hopefully he did. If not, probably the cat.
I don't think he did.
The cat will be okay.
The cat is there.
The cat left.
Yeah,
Cat was like, bye.
But it could be a prank. It could be because streamers do stuff like that where they make everybody think that their house was haunted for a bit for more likes and views. But if not,
it's so convenient that everything was in the camera.
What? Well, it must be a basement apartment. I think that's what it was. One's a bedroom, and then the other one was like a bathroom going into it. It looked like a basement apartment. But one thing I could say is maybe his friend rigged the apartment to do that because he was watching the apartment for his friend. He's watching the cat for his friend. So maybe his friend had something to do with it. But that's my only speculation because I think that it looked pretty authentic. I didn't see any wires. I didn't see anything that I just thought it was weird, but it could be that his friend was pulling the prank.
And you couldn't see, there was the couch there, so you couldn't see what was below.
Right.
The cat.
But I think that he was genuinely frightened, but I think that his friend set up the apartment and rigged the apartment to scare him.
Okay.
That's what I think.
That sounds like something my friends would do.
Right.
You need new friends.
Well, I think he did it because they're both streamers and, he might have done it as a gag. So the last thing that we're going to watch is another Frostmare TV. Of course, he's like my favorite guy. I don't know what this one is either that I came up to because I just rigged them right before we did the show. So I'm going to be just as surprised as you all. And let's just show this one.
Surprise effect. Warning, there may be language.
Yeah, there might be language, y'all. I wasn't expecting that, but hey,
It's
here
authentic.
Here we go.
A few weeks ago, we have taken a look at the case of Dino Nuggets, who seemed to be living in a pretty haunted house that he shares with his roommate.
What'd you hear, buddy?
In several videos, he has documented the really terrifying activity that is unfolding in their home. What started as weird noises at first turned into several bone-chilling shadow sightings that so far have only transpired in the basement of their house.
The Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta come out.
Knowing that he had something on his hands with that case, Dino decided to put up a recording device once in a while, even if he wasn't home. The next video was posted after he had left the camera rolling one night, when nobody should have been home at that time. He was quite shocked after realizing that the activity even made it upstairs.
Huh? Oh. Hmm?
After the lights start flickering in Dino's home, there is an odd shadow reflection on the left side of the wall. What could this be? Obviously, it gets even stranger when the basement door opens. And we can hear something that sounds like a weeping woman. Only moments after, there's a tall shadow apparition breezing through the living room in the reflection of the door here.
Was that 3?
No, I think they
It's
just
unclear what
repeated it.
exactly is happening
Okay.
in Dino's house, but it's truly an unsettling situation to say the least. What do you think? Is this the same shadow apparition that we have seen earlier? Or is Dino's home haunted by several ghosts?
That looks like a girl.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like in a hoodie.
Yeah.
I'm calling this one to be kind of BS because there are two things I noticed. First of all, who leaves their house with the lights on? All the lights on. Even
Rich
if
people do that.
electric bill, fam. Nah. You get a camera with night vision, if anything. The opening and closing of the door doesn't sit to like why? Like, okay, it opens the door to come out from the basement, walks through the front just to close the door again and then peer through.
It's a polite ghost. Come on.
What I think
Closes
is that
the door.
it must inhabit the basement. It comes up, it looks like it's searching for somebody, and then it went back down. The second footage, there is second footage to see actually brought somebody there to actually cleanse the house, and they see it again. But if you notice that it walked right by the radiator as well, it walked behind the radiator.
Right.
So I'm going to say I'm going to deem this as authentic, and let me tell you why I'm going to deem it as authentic. When the camera panned over to the figure that was standing there in black, there was no shadow on that figure. It was completely black. And even if anybody was standing over there with all black on, there would still be a shadow behind that person. And there would still be something that would make you know, like all black doesn't see the same color. Black comes in different colors. unless it's a shroud that's of one particular color. This looked like it was a fitted outfit, and the thing was completely, it looked like the hair on the side, like a young teenage girl. It looked like she was wearing a skirt. And maybe this was just in my mind's eye, I could see. But I believe that character, I believe that that's true. I believe it to be authentic.
I definitely had the same thought about that character. There was no texture or anything. It was just sheer black.
Sheer black.
Which I thought was sort of shocking. Now, you know, the second, so I thought the basement footage was really effective. I wish they didn't cut so quickly after he ran toward that shadow figure, because I would have liked to see what was behind the boiler. But
nothing, actually, I saw it and nothing was there.
Oh, okay.
Nothing was there. But the gentleman that he has, and maybe I could find the second footage of this, the gentleman that he had to come and they were trying to smudge the house. They did see it again. They did see it again. And it is a dark entity. It has no facial structure, nothing. Yeah. But it's appearing as a female. The crying, all of that is some kind of female, unless this female spirit is being chased by the darker entity. But the entity that we saw down in the basement looked like a female.
That did. I definitely got female too when I saw that. The second footage, the one that happened later on where the door opened and closed and the footsteps, that didn't seem very authentic to me. That seemed kind of contrived. But that basement footage was effective.
On point. Yeah. And I, I'm okay with the guy turning on his lights, because if I was that terrified and I knew something was my house, all my lights would be on. I would not walk into a dark house. I can guarantee you that. So, it's sad when people encounter this kind of stuff, because especially if you purchase something or it's a new apartment, you can't just readily move out. You have to stay there and deal with it until it gets cast out or until you get enough money to leave. And that's normally what has happened in a lot of these cases. Yeah. You just can't move. And if it is your own house, you better believe nothing is going to put me out of my house, my own house. So I thought it was pretty authentic though. But he does have a continued story. I don't know what is happening with him now. And every once in a while, Frostmare does find his footage, which I really would like to go maybe on the subreddit and try to find some of this authentic footage myself. But he does it so well.
Super scary, super scary. What did I see? I have no idea.
Yeah. What did I see?
I would like to make a sub addition to this. Who do I call to get out of this house?
Exactly. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us this evening. Thank you. We will be back next week. The holidays are coming, so I'm very, very, very excited. We have some really great guests coming up. And Mayhem, you'll be back with us next week?
Yes.
Yes. I need to update our ticker tape at the bottom so we can put your information on there. So don't leave until I do that.
That's fine.
But anyway, thank you all for hanging out with us. Welcome back, Augie. It's been a pleasure as always. And this is such a great group. We will see you next Thursday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And it says Instagram there. We're not live on Instagram, but you can follow us on Instagram.
Yay.
All right. Take care, y'all. Have a good night.
Bye.
And stay spooky.